Alright, let's get this party started. Get a little live on here. Switch controllers over. I've got a Steam controller and I use it for the mouse. And yeah, it works very well, but it does not work very well with this game. Let's get our daily input started. As you guys can tell, we are making what's called consistency. I figured every single time that I play this game, as far as like doing my normal stuff in the morning, I'm just gonna knock it out with you guys. At least try to build, some consistency. So I can always go back and listen to the stuff. It's kind of a little upset today. We ended up winning Shadow War, which is great, which is why I'm still in my PvP build. I play a harassing spec. For those that don't understand, I like to play harasser. So let's get into our PvE spec and get everything started in the morning. First thing we do is we get rid of these bloody red dots. Today is the last day for our towers. We took a tower last night, and I believe we successfully defended a tower last night as well. So it's pretty awesome trade-off. Won Shadow Wars. We do really good for, being a not so big clan. My towers should be almost done anyway, so I'll send them all. Usually I have them waited out, but I'm gonna have them waited out this way. It's early in the morning. It's only like 6 o'clock here. It's 3 o'clock on the server. Or 5 o'clock here, I don't know. I'd have to look, but I think it's like 6 o'clock my time. Okay, so that one's done. Oh, that one's done. Alright, cool. I was going to say, I thought I had all my towers done for the week. Oh, that's a nice little mount bank. And, oh shit, you gotta pay attention to these. Oh, this is gonna happen. They've upped the spawn rate in these. It seems it's what we've noticed. It's like 10% every hour now. So if you don't tend to them, they will definitely tend to you. You'll lose them real quick. So, but yeah, I was kind of let down last night. I contacted Rockstar Games, and reason being, it's very simple. I made a boo-boo, and I deleted a character that had a bunker and a boatload of stuff. So, because they handed out like four. Oh, damn, I wound up with 2 Legos for doing this. They wound up handing out, as their promotion for getting enhanced for free. They handed out like, you reset your character, they give you 4 million, dollars. Well, I hadn't really played the game for very long, and honestly, very much. I'll be honest with you, I've not been a very big fan of the series since Vice City. A lot of folks are going to think not used. So once I was done with VC, I moved on to San Andreas. I played it a little while, and I just couldn't get into it like I did with San Andreas. So it was just I don't know. It just didn't. It felt different, So that's when I kind of put down. I played 4 for a little bit. I thought it was great. I played a little bit of the storyline for 5. Thought it was great, but getting into that style of game, especially when you spent thousands of hours on Vice City. I'm not gonna sit there and lie to you guys. Like, I wore my PlayStation 2 out on Vice City. I played 3. You know what I'm saying? Loved 3. Thought 3 was great, but Vice City was definitively my jam. And if you notice, I'm sitting on another 8. So. What changed my perspective was, like, I got online and I honestly didn't really know what to do, and I really didn't want to. knee deep in several other MMOs, and it's like, man, I don't know if I've got the time to dedicate to this game. So I put it down, and then I pick it back up and I try it again. And it was just as confusing as it was the first time. I'm like, this game, like the online service, like is not linear at all. So I was very displeased with that. And, again, you got to see it from my point of view. Like, again, I'm a gamer. Like, I have a massive, like 600, almost 700 game, probably closer to 800 game library, on my computer that I can pick and choose from. So, it's not that I'm limited. It's that I pick and choose what I spend my time on. And so if a game doesn't have like a consistent guide point, and this is like what I'm talking about. So like when you start a new character, the first thing you would do is you would log in and you're in a parking lot with your brand new character and a car. Okay, and your first quest, your first mission is to basically go steal some drugs from some drug dealers in an alleyway. Now this quest is now gone. Okay, it's completely different now. It's kind of almost the same, but it's like in a parking lot now. It's not in like a really hard alleyway to get your ass out of. And that was literally like the starting quest. And then after that, your phone rings a million times and you get a whole bunch of stuff, but it's not pertinent to any like storyline. It's just, go make money, go buy buildings, and unlock extra features. Which is, that's the core basis of the game. And I'm cool with that. But it didn't really have a storyline to it. It was all part of the the offline mode. You're kind of playing into that. Now it kind of has a storyline with all of the content that they've released and that they've reactivated and stuff like that, because you can go back and play a lot of the older content. So now I know, what I'm getting into. And so I created a new character. I got my 4 million. And then, like, it asked me if I wanted to import my character. Well, in the process of, like, importing, I must have got confused. So, I thought that I could start over. You know what I'm saying? Like, choose a different path. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, well, I don't know about this whole drug running thing, because they give you, like, several different paths, during this thing. And they're like, yeah, you get 4 million. But, I didn't know it was a one-time ordeal. So I ended up deleting the character that got the 4 million. And so I contacted them, and Rockstar's like, well, there's nothing we can do about it. I was like, really? Like, for real? And now, mind you, if I wanted to, I'll lay on the horn, you know what I'm saying, and get all my shit back if I wanted to. But it's not the purpose. It's just the point that, like, he's like, well, you deleted your character. Yeah, I know. I admitted that. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the write-up, I admitted that I, made a mistake. I, imported a character after I removed a character, and now I can't get the 4 million cash, and I'd like to get the other character back. That's the whole purpose. You know what I'm saying? You could have just simply told me, well, we can't, go back and say, well, according to our systems, I know what I did. You know what I'm saying? I know how I messed up. All right. Now, and to me, it was just like lazy customer service is what it felt like. Because if I contacted like Blizzard or even fucking Steam, like any of their games, or EA, for God's sakes, if I even contacted EA, they'd bend over backwards. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much like, help me figure out the mistake that I made, and then fix it to where I could have my character, you know what I'm saying, back if I wanted to. Because, honestly, like, that's what I was thinking. Like, well, I'll just start over, yada, yada, yada. Because I don't know anything about that game. I've had it since it's been released, and I vaguely log in and play it. Well, doing some research, which, I did. I was like, all right, well, if I'm going to start over, what's it going to take to start over? It's, like, really easy to make 4 million cash. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, was that really worth, is it really worth me getting frustrated over and, getting pissed off and uninstalling a game, because I was thinking about that. Not that I was going to do that, but, like, what if, I got upset and just, like, uninstalled the game and just never played it? I mean, they got my cash. You know what I'm saying? They got me for, you know, $70 is what I mean, they got me for sticker price on that game. I bought it like literally right when it came, right when it released. I didn't get it on a discount, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like I bought it straight out. And I'm very pleased with the enhanced version because now it guides you to where you need to be. You know what I'm saying? It tells you, okay, this is what you have to do. This is, you know, you're going to do this. You're going to, you know, to do the high stuff, you have to buy this building. To do the garage, you know, you got to own one of these garages, you know, for, you know, the racing series. So I was like, all right, cool. Now I know. You know, again, this wasn't common knowledge, and I wasn't going to spend, you know, what I did was spend hours watching YouTube videos of streamers, you know, who have already conquered the game and seeing, you know, like what the big hubbub about, you know, leveling and all that other stuff was, which it's a really easy system. It's, you know, it's a Grand Theft Auto game. So, you know, to me, it was just, you know, they could have had a little bit better customer service. The guy could have offered, you know, to try to retrieve my character. And because everything I've read is like they can retrieve your character as long as you contact them within, you know, an X amount of time. And I contacted them like within a couple of hours after I realized, like, well, I'm not going to be able to probably get that character back. And I'm not getting the 4 million on a new character like it's, you know, like it's prompting me. Because what it would do is it would kick me out of the game with the, you know, character that I'm creating and then tell me, well, you can't, you know, you can't transaction can't be done. And I'm like, well, shit, you know, I guess it was a one-time thing. And then I read into it was a one-time thing. And again, I'm not sore over it. I mean, I can earn 4 million cash. I can buy a bunker and, you know, or whatever else I want to do, you know, but it's just the point, you know, they just like how just sudden, just kind of felt rude, you know, and again, I'm not, you know, I'm complaining to complain. I've had really good interactions with some companies, and I've had some really bad interactions. And I'll tell you, like the best companies again that I've ever contacted, Blizzard. I had an account issue with Blizzard. They were able to rectify it. I had a order issue with Blizzard. They were able to rectify it. I've had just bugs with Bethesda, bugs with a couple of Funcom games, and both of those companies were able to rectify it. And it just, again, like, you know, for being like one of the largest, you know, game producers in the world, you would think that they would have a little bit better customer service, you know, considering that, you know, several of the other, you know, places around them have like really good customer service. That's just me speaking. You know, again, I'm big on customer service. You know, if I make a mistake, you know, and it's something that, you know, and it could have been something so simple. If he would even explain that to me without me having to go and do some independent research and then go, well, I screwed up, you know, because I did. I screwed up. You know what I'm saying? Now, him telling me he couldn't fix it, and then other game masters, you know what I'm saying, like reading their things and saying, okay, well, I need to get this character replaced. You know, and again, I could probably do that, but I'm not going to push the envelope with it. I'm not even really. I play it in my off time. It's not like it's not in my normal rotation, but I was just really interested in seeing the difference between the enhanced version and the regular version because I just more recently you know, uninstalled the regular version. I installed the enhanced version. It was really good. They really, you know, polished it up real nice. I know some people are waiting for GTA 6. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not looking forward to it. And I'll tell you why. Like, I think that they did a really good job with GTA 5, and I think that they could add more content to it if they wanted to. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't squeeze blood from a turnip. The game's huge. I mean, it's like huge. It's like 120 gigs for the for the Legacy edition, and then for the polished edition, they cut it down. They trimmed it down to like 96 gigs, which is, again, it's all good. You know, You know, I get a little astounded at the game size nowadays because like I'm so used to like you know, oh god, coming back from my era, shit, dude, like a gig was too much for a game sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like honestly, like I was playing video games when they were in the kilobytes, you know, and then when they took no more than like 100 megs on your hard drive and stuff like that. Now they're taking up like you know so much space, and it's bound to get worse. Like like I'm waiting on the game to break the terabyte mark. I honestly believe it'll be like a Call of Duty game. It'll break the terabyte mark. It won't be like on any of the new generations. Probably like 2 generations from now. But there'll be a Call of Duty. It would be like a terabyte download file. It'll just be something stupid. All right, cool. I just made it to 40. Oh, how I feel like I've been here before. Cool. I always pick the pearls because I always need the 5 stars for them. Gem food is hard to come by, and since I'm ranking, I'm about ready to rank a gem to my last 2 star to rank 10. I'm gonna need to start collecting 5 stars and Telerik pearls whenever they're offered. That's why I gotta run all these events this weekend. I'm not looking forward to it. I do not like running dungeons. It's a requirement, I know, but I have to spam enough of them to get gear. And any Crusader will tell you, like, we have the worst gear drop ratio of any class. I think everybody gets their set pieces before we do. It's stupid. And honestly, like, I understand it because like Crusader is a very powerful class. It's a top tier class, honestly. It's also like one of the. It can be an easy class if you make it easy, but if you, it's also like skill based. So like if you're looking for easy mode, it's really not super easy to play. Like there's other classes that are way easier, like Barbarian, Tempest. They're like so much easier classes, and they put out a lot more DPS than Crusader does. Crusade, you just have to realize like you're playing a class that is a support. That's honestly and truly a 110% support class, and it's mixed in with DPS. The support abilities are, I mean, they're buffs for you, but they're also buffs for the party. And so you have to really be decisive on whether you're going to hog those abilities for yourself or with your build, or if you're going to share those abilities with your party and extend your party's damage. And that's where a lot of Crusaders make a brutal mistake with their builds is that there's like they don't spread it amongst the party, and so then they feel like something's not running right, or that like they're not running dungeons fast enough. And now that we have a DPS meter in the game, it's gotten a lot worse. People are always consistently trying to rush that DPS meter, and it's like, look, dude, that DPS meter don't matter. It's not consistent. Like you don't have consistent damage. Like nobody does. It's all burst, and that's the God's honest truth. I'm gonna have to go to the other place because there's no loophole to beat these guys up. Because of course, come on, damn it. But they Crusader's just not. It's not the starter class, and you'll learn that as you play it because there's so many variant builds in this game. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many variant builds, and it all works. Like it, like there's like we call it duct tape builds. Like sometimes like we'll test things like in theory this should work, and it does. You know what I'm saying? In theory this should work. So you can, like there's speed builds, there's a high damage build. And the high damage build works in some cases. It just doesn't work well with PvP. There's actually a few high damage builds, and they work well. You know what I'm saying? But it's based off of your play style too. And again, I'm not subjective in telling people that they play their class wrong, especially like these top tier guys. They're doing something right. But if you're just getting started as Crusader, man, you might as well strap that Conj of Light and that banner to your butt. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna need it. It's gonna, you're gonna get pulled into a lot of dungeons. You're gonna get used a lot more for raids and stuff like that if you have those. Honestly, and if people see you use them, it's like being like the tank or the healer in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like you're very important. You have an important role to fill, and that's what your role is. You're the provider of buffs during raids and dungeons. And now the dungeons go real quick, but if you're in a dungeon party, dude, you can make it go a whole lot quicker if you just have a regular banner. You know what I'm saying? Fire banner is good. It does increase damage, but that crit banner, especially if you've got a charm, that crit banner is beautiful. Like the one that, like, if you're using Arrow Keeper, and then of course you add the damage buff and stuff like that to it. It gets, like I said, it's pretty juicy. And you're improving your damage too. So don't think that you're not, but you're just not topping out. So again, it's that hard choice between turning, like wanting to keep the damage to yourself or wanting to spread the damage out amongst your party. And oftentimes, having 3 people with 100% crit, every 10 seconds for 8 seconds is, it's pretty damn good. That's just the way that I look at it. All right, got that one done. I did not do the. I didn't start with again, so I forgot about it. But that's okay. We can fix it. This place is quick. It goes by so fast because everything's kind of almost like in a weird pattern, and I went out of pattern. Like I could have done this in a straight line. If I'd have started with this quest and then worked my way down, I would have literally walked a straight line and done this. But I didn't pay attention to them. But like the build I use is for fast farming, so that I can get my quest done pretty quickly and then move on. That's all my builds are about. You know what I'm saying? Does this build work in raids? Yes. Does this build work in dungeons? Yes. Does this build work in PvP? No. I have to have a different build for PvP, and it depends on what I'm doing in PvP. Ultimately, if I'm just, like I have a build for tower defense, I have a build for battlegrounds, and I have a build for vault. I have a build for Rite of Exile. I have a build for, like I change it up depending on what I'm needed to do. Like if I have to protect, to stay alive and protect the higher resonance players and give them banner and cons, then I get sent in to do that. Because again, I'm only a 2K player. I can survive quite a few of those hits. You know what I'm saying? Like, I actually knocked out all of my quests while we were talking shit. Well then, I'll be damned. That's okay. Like I said, we usually get it first or middle or last, but so you as a player, like I said, it just depends. But when other players look at Crusaders, they see Conjure Light, they see Banner. That's what we're known for. You know what I'm saying? Like that banner and the Conjure Light, you know what I'm saying? That protects everybody is what we're known for. And so, like it's redundant to not share those abilities. And I've had to, I get into this debate with the, Crusader, whales in our clan. You know, they think the same thing, but then when they change it up a little bit, they have a higher survival rating. They understand. It's like, dude, you're not. You know, the higher resonant players are not always right. Are they right about their gems? Their gems, yeah. Are they right about their builds? Their builds, yeah. Because they're higher resonance builds. There's a plateau. It changes. And for those that don't understand, you know, plateauing, it's simple. Your character doesn't unlock all the way until, you know, you reach a certain level. And that level isn't always Paragon level. Sometimes it's gear level. Sometimes it's a mixture of different, what I refer to as MacGuffins. You know, in the case of this game, it's secondary gems, legendary gems, gear level. I mean, there's a lot of MacGuffins in this game that you've got to kind of manage. And once you start topping out, then you start working on the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, until, you know, all you have is pretty much nothing. You know what I'm saying? Nothing to upgrade. You know, and that's the other thing too. And I'll explain this. This game was built for a long haul. A long haul. They've got 10 years of storyline to make up, and people don't get that. And that was what I thought was so funny, like listening to, you know, like all these people who felt, I guess, besmirched because Blizzard did a pay to win game for the first time, and like it was successful. You know, it was successful. You know, they were expecting, you know, Blizzard to have a change of heart or change out something or to drop resonance and to do, you know, to make it a fair game. You know, it's like, no, dude, they got to make money from something, and rather than charge $10 for the game and have, you know, 40 million players with nothing to do, nothing to, you know, earn towards, you know, they switched it up at the last moment, which again, can I say that I blame them for that? No, it's Blizzard. You know what I'm saying? Like, this game essentially is what funded, you know, D4 coming out a lot earlier than what, you know, like they projected it. Originally, what they slated it and what they projected were two different things. They slated it to be out 2 months after DI came out, but it didn't come out for almost 8 months. You see? And during that 8 months, I mean, they collected a boatload of money. You know, and made like $150 million off of this game alone in that 8 month period of time. Hell, they made that off of this game in 3 months. So, you know, they took the money, they developed D4, you know, they released it, you know, they hired a whole gang of programmers for just Diablo, period, whether it's Immortal or whether it's 4. And, you know, they've continuously developed for both, you know, both of their sub IPs. Again, can't blame them. It's genius marketing. Was it a cash grab? I don't feel that it was. You know, like in the beginning, yeah, it was like severely underdeveloped. You know what I'm saying? You could say that it felt like one, but it, you know, like in the thick of things, like we were getting content on a regular basis. You know, like we were getting new zones every, you know, 4 to 6 months. We were getting, you know, oh shit. Shit. I just totally screwed that up. I put 2 sets. Luckily, I caught that. Oh, shit. I thought I was ahead of myself, and here I am, like, playing catch-up again. I mean, the level 3 bolt caster will catch them. It really will. Alright, cool. Now I can get ahead of myself. See? But, you know, again, it to me, it didn't feel like it. Like, if it would have felt like a cash grab, they would have done zero development after the initial release, and this game would have died like instantly. But again, it's that genius marketing that goes alongside. And you know, as a light spender, and I do mean very light. I'm only, like I said, 2,500 res on my main character, and my free-to-play characters 2K. You know, there's only like 500, 400 residents difference between the two. So, but you know, you again from an aspect of a person who does not spend a lot of money on this game, I have had an incredible time with it. I log in nearly every day. I do all my dailies. You know, I help out other players. I talk shop with new players. You know, it really has given me that small town time MMO feel, um, but with all the glamour and glare of a Diablo game, and it's been very pleasing. Have I been happy with every single update? No, man. Point me to a human being out there that's ever going to be happy with anything that Blizzard completely does. There's been some patches that were skittish. I'm way behind. There were some patches that were skittish. There were some things that I didn't necessarily agree with that they did. Some classes that they nerfed really badly and took forever to retrieve. Like barbs were broke for 6 months, monks were broke for like 8 months, and I mean not broke in a good way. You know, when I talk about like broke isn't super damage, I'm talking about like they were broke as in like they weren't doing any damage. They were completely useless in PvP scenarios. Nobody wanted to play them. And then all of a sudden there's a resurgence of monks again, and barbarians are like just disgusting damage. And it's again like it's so behind on that. That would explain why I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. I actually have all of the cash. I'm just getting myself stuck. I'm normally not this far behind on my builds. Luckily, nothing's leaked by. Jeez Louise. There we go. Alright. Yeah. This build just didn't feel right. Something's off about it. But again, like I said, I was able to stop 100% with level 4 towers. It's about to end. And then we can move over to Ray Ray. Get Ray Ray started on this. But, I just didn't feel like it was a cash grab, and again, the development has been great. Like they have all of the stuff that I complained about from the beginning, like quality of life wise, they've addressed for the most part. And I say for the most part. There's still a few things I think that they could do a little bit better, but for the most part, they've been pretty smart about listening to us. And they have a good survey team, like, and I can tell you I've done a few of their surveys. I can't tell you what I've seen or anything like that. I've seen most of what's coming out in the next 6 months, and I've seen everything that came out last year. And there's been some good stuff, and there's been some good talks too, so not to take away from that. That's a 22. I have a 2290. That, my good sir, is a 2268. So say goodbye. Alright. Well, we got one character done for the day. As far as normal responsibilities. Because there's just one shadow quest and it's done. Oh, I gotta turn in my monstrous essences. It's a good thought. So that way I get the battle pass points for that. Ray Ray is going to be my difficult child because I have only a few days, but Mondays come in and Monday's a good reset. You get a lot of VPs on Monday because of just all of the stuff that you can, that you can do. They just had a lull in activities, and I think that that's what kind of like dwarfed everybody's experience for the last month. It's the fact that they have a lull in activities. Like Vanguard ended, I think last week or week before last. So that takes away from XP. They haven't had anything to fill the void. So it's just going back to classic circle farming for a lot of folks, and I won't do it. I'm sorry. I won't drive myself nuts. Alright. Shadow War Weeklies. I guess I didn't claim those. We ended up winning last night anyways. I think it was a complete shutout. We won on D team too. D team's struggling, but it's just it's a number, it's an attendance issue. You can't help that. You can't be responsible for other people. You know what I'm saying? And other people, like we're a family oriented clan. Yeah, I see we ended up winning. Yep, complete shutout. So not too many of them showed up. Those guys are a small clan. They just sign up for points. Right. I had to delete my inbox got full last night. Get this knocked out. Draw these. Start it. Needs to be activated. It's all dungeons. Good. Let's knock out Yakin. Let him rip me off. The reason why I do Yakin right now is because of the fact that I've still got gear I've got to collect, and Yakin is a really good source for that sometimes when he's not ripping you off. And he's been ripping me off lately. I haven't gotten one upgrade from him, and I haven't gotten one piece from him in a while. So I lay on the horn to him with him. Oh, okay, cool. So awesome. I got a rank 4 out of that. Sweet. Yep, it's the same song and dance with Ray Ray. You just come over here, send your pets out, collect your pending rewards. Because I can't do the towers. Towers are full. So I don't plan on logging into Ray Ray for a while. There's no thing today. There's no assembly. So I can get away with splitting my pets and knocking both of those out. With Oda, I'll have to log in because I think we have Vigil this week, or I think we have something. I'm not sure. I have to look. It's either Vigil or it's Rite of Exile. It's one of the two. Oh shit, I got 10. I got 11 now. Holy hell, I'm old now. It's one of the two. I can't quite remember. Alright, so it's the same song and dance. It's like I said, it's just really easy stuff. It's always just small, tedious things. Like this is like that's an easy zone to quest in. Super easy. It's like always the same 4 quests. There's 6. I think there's 6 quests per zone or 6 bounties per zone, but you can only get like 4. So it randomly chooses the 4 for you for the day, and you get 2 different sets. I was actually shocked that they didn't, pull what they do in WoW, where it's like they send you to multi-zones. But I think people would have complained about that, and Blizzard would have ended it. Oh god, they're sending us to multi-zones. We'll get used to it. That's how they work. I love the fact that there's literally nothing that can kill me. Like nothing. Like nothing in the Outworld reword that. Like open world farming is so simple. Once you get a good build going, like you just wreck everything. It's like you come over and you just smash it. It's like the whole smash. That's why I want to change over to monk just because like the damage is pristine with that bow staff build that they have now. But I'm like hesitant on doing it for the simple fact that I know I'm going to have to collect all those essences, and I'm going to take a huge pile on my damage for quite a while. And the reason being is because that's just the way that it is. You get used to playing something and you like it, and it's hard. Like, I love playing Tempest. I really do. Will I level like another Tempest because Ray Ray has pretty much all of the essences but the current ones? No. Do not want to level up another character. 2 is enough for me. I play with a guy on here. He plays 5 characters, and I don't see how he does it. He works a full time job. You know what I'm saying? You just I'm like, bro, more power to you. I can't do it. It's it's too much burnout for me. And that's the thing. Like, I have a love hate relationship with the Diablo series. I always have. Like, I mean, ever since, like, I can remember, like, Diablo 1, dude. Like, I would get so mad at Diablo 1, like, I wouldn't play it for a week. You know what I'm saying? I'd go play another game so I could cool down, you know? It's the same thing. Like, with this being such a political based MMO, too, it's really frustrating at times. Like, because you're not always going to, things aren't always going to go, as advertised, I think is the best way of putting it. Like, you gotta work the politics, and if you don't have any politics, your clan doesn't go anywhere, basically. Because I mean, that's pretty much all the holding the crown is it's working and working deals and stuff like that, so that people can pretty much have like a peace, quote unquote, peaceful reign. Um and so it's a lot of back alley deals going on between the top 10 clans to try to stay in power, basically. It's all it is. It's all power moves. And I mean, I get it. I play into it too. You know what I'm saying? That's the fun part of it. It's a giant science experiment. Well, political experiment, if you will. Social experiment, however you want to call it. It's all of the above. And again, it's fun. It's no different than most MMOs. You have clan politics, you have guild politics. This game has the same. It's just it's not as big. I think it's another thing too. It's like you know like what can you really do that doesn't constitute as harassment to another clan? That's like I was explaining to people. It's like in the beginning of the game, like you could disrupt farm zones and stuff like that. You could be a menace, but now like you can't. They've kind of said, yeah, you got to play nice with people, which I get it. And it's the other thing too. Like when we first got started, like we didn't want. Like there were some nasty players, whole gangs of nasty, just toxic players on my original server, and I didn't leave because of the toxicity. Left because it was dying. Like people were transferring off my clan. Like we reigned for 27 weeks out of the first year, and then we just dispersed. It was ruining the server, and we noticed it. It was like, okay, so you can either be the guys that everybody hates and that everybody talks trash about. You know what I'm saying? Like on a consistent basis, and you could ruin the server by beating those guys. And it's really easy to be hated in this game. You see what I'm saying? Like every major clan will tell you the same thing. Like I know, like the major clan on our server probably draws more hate than I could shake a stick at. Like everybody talks bad to them. It's because they're number one. Now I'm not gonna say that their tactics haven't been dubious or that they've lacked integrity on some of their moves, because they've made some shitty moves, but and shady moves at that. But that's sometimes how you remain in power. I've always been like kind of one of them honesty up front kind of people. Like I don't like to I think like there's 100 people in your clan, all right, and you got to have some form of transparency with them. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to let the cat completely out of the bag on everything. Like if you're making a deal to be the immortal or something like that, and you don't want everybody else on the server to know until because people will disrupt that. Um, if they can, they'll disrupt that if they can. But if when it comes to other things like game wise and information that needs to be passed on. There's when I'm an officer, I tell them like, I'm a junior officer in the B team and I'm a main officer in the D team. So when I have to handle them differently because B team's big, you know what I'm saying, and they've got enough officers to where I really just wear the title. I don't have to do anything. But with the D team, I have to, arrange stuff with them, tell them what to do, what's expected of them, hold them accountable and things like that. It's all part of it. It's literally like running another job, but you have to be honest with them because it's their time that they're devoting to your clan. You know what I'm saying? And so I've always been transparent with these folks. Even when I'm talking to them about politics, it's like we don't know. We don't know. We don't control this. We don't control that, and you don't. Like you don't really have control in the game. It's all agreements, and the reason why it's all agreements is because anybody can be a disruptor. You know what I'm saying? Like any of the top 10 clans on most servers can be disruptive. So like if your goal is to have a 7-week reign, which is called a blessed reign. So if your goal is to have a blessed reign, 7 weeks, straight, and to upgrade the reign capes for your clan, and you're working with 6 of the clans to do that, you're fine. But if you are not working with all of the top 10 clans, then your reign's gonna come to an end early, basically, because they don't know. You know what I'm saying? That you want to go for a blessed reign, or 2, maybe they don't like you. You know what I'm saying? Then that's always a factor. Maybe it's ex clan members that didn't get along with each other in the beginning of the game. You never know. So you got to put those factors in. I just look at the numbers. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I tell everybody. I'm like more of a numbers guy when it comes to this game. Like I look at the strategic vantage points and I take a look at the reality of, can we, win this numerically, when they're throwing like $1 million team at you, and that happens. Like that happened to us last ring. Like, we didn't know what they were expecting and they didn't know there was a lack of communication there. And what wound up happening is our reign ended up, not going as long as we expected it to go. Was I mad about it? No. I'm saying, for one, I get burnt out on that shit. That's God's honest truth. Like the reigns will kill you. You know what I'm saying? Like as a player, the reigns will solidly just wreck you if you do too many of them, because it's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of things to do. There's a lot of moving parts. You know what I'm saying? Is it easy stuff? Oh God, yeah, it's all easy stuff. But it's a lot of easy stuff, and it's all got to be done. And the reason why is because you don't rank up. Like when you're a shadow, like on the shadow side of things, for those of you guys who have never been immortal out there. So as a shadow, you rank up individually. So like your goals and your attendance to assembly and your attendance to shadow war and all that other stuff, the 20 goals you do a week, that's for you. That adds up to your character. That adds up for your character, okay? When you're an immortal, everybody ranks up. There's there's like a ranking system. It's like bronze through gold, okay, and I think it's like gold 4 or something like that as an immortal. So everybody's input, everybody's points goes into that pool, and that's what ranks it up as an immortal. So and they get 60 goals a week. They got to do 60 goals a week. Then they got to do Kions, and they got to do ROE, and then they got to do Corvus, and there's a lot of responsibility there. So it turns into legitimately a full-time job. And, we try to warn people about that, like when we were coming up. It's like, look, this is what they're looking for. This is what's got to be done, and this is the expectation. If you don't, you fail to meet these expectations, we're just simply not going to get chosen, and they learned, and that's exactly, why we went up, is because and we weren't the clan that went up. Our teammate did, but we went up with them. But we still, when it came to the reign, we had the most points in. Like we were covering the top 100 pretty much. It was mostly our clan. Out of the 3, it was mostly our clan. So I was very proud of them. They got it. you know, and you have to, you legitimately have to get it in this game. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to try to be in a top 10 clan. And it's different with different servers, but it's pretty much the same basis. There's always at least, you know, 3 clans that are dominant, and then there's a reign of 3 clans that are not dominant. 12. Like, it's just junk. Like, I am not impressed with Inferno 5 stuff. I really am not. And people are already out farming Inferno 6. Shit ain't even been out a week, or, you know, actually a month, and people are already farming that new area. Ooh. Loyalty bonus. Oh shit, I did get the loyalty bonus. Hell yeah. Nice. This is for the new build. So there's that. That. All I need is 3 pieces. So I've got pretty much almost half the set. Almost half the set. Alright. And Terror Rift is open. Sweet. Alright, so let's take a look. Nothing special. I think I have a 10 stack crest on Ray. I'm gonna run, and I'm gonna buy one on Oda and run, because Oda needs. I've got a rare or legendary. I don't like sitting on them when the event's up. I've got a whole another month before the double drop event happens again, so I don't like sitting on them. I know a lot of people love sitting on these things. As a free-to-play character, you cannot sit on your crests. You have to run them, because that's what's. And you know, like, I'll give you guys a crash course of all this stuff here in a minute on my main, because it's probably easier for me to do it on Oda than it is on Ray. Ray's kind of a hodgepodge, and it just works. It really does. Ray just works. This is going to be a quick one. And I'll log over to Oda. Knock that out too. See, I just hit that motherfucker for 1.1 million. I'm going to get a whole bunch of these. And then check out. Alright, so let's get out of here. Exit to Raucous Plaza. See if I can buy a gem. So the common mistake that you will make as a player, alright, and I can show you this on Ray, is that when you go into your gems, alright, and you craft, alright, the option down here to, well, it's somewhere around here, there it is, to build this eternal legendary crest for your fading embers is oftentimes not worth it. Alright? And I'm going to explain the reason why. Alright? You can only build, I think, one of these per week, I believe, unless they've changed it. I haven't built one in a long time. But if you are a new player or a free-to-play player, your 1-star gems and your 2-star gems are super, 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 super important. Alright, and to give you the math, you have legitimately only, and I mean only, a 1% chance of, I'm sorry, a 5% chance of a legendary gem dropping, alright, out of all those eternal crests that you run. Alright, it's like a 5% chance, it's less than that. And it's like a 0.5%, a 0.5% chance of it being a 5-star gem. Okay, so that is the mathematical equation. It is like 75% chance that you're going to get a 1-star gem for every crest that you run. So you got to think, all these 1-stars, you're going to get a 75% chance of getting one of those, and then the rest of that You know what I'm saying? The other 20% is 2-star gems, and the 5% is 5-star gems. So, since if you do not put a lot of money in this game, because you're going to have to put some money in this game, all right, there are several 1-star gems and several 2-star gems that are what's referred to as S tier, which means they'll work in any build for any class for any reason. Okay, and you want to look online because I could name them off, but I'm not going to sit there and waste my time doing that. But I can tell you that there are some also subjective gems, which are called A tier gems. They'll work in most situations and most builds, but they're not perfect for everything. And some of those are also better for you. So you want to do 1-star, and then a mix of 1-star and 2-star, then 2-star, then 2-star to 5-star. See what I'm saying? So that's how you progress. And that's where I'm at right now. If you notice, like I've got a 2-star there, I've got a 2-star, or I've got a, I believe that's a bottled hope there, 2-star there. All right, there's a 5-star there, there's a 2-star there, and it's the same with Oda. Oda is the same exact way. It's progressive. I progressively upgraded Oda, and I've gotten both characters to 2K this way, and it's taken some time. Now, if you want to quote unquote cheat the system, and buy crests to run things, I don't blame you. But if you run Elder Rifts with your rare crest, you're going to be rewarded the Talaric shards, and you're going to be rewarded the dust. The dust is very important because the dust will allow you to uh, basically build a 2-star gem. A 2-star gem is worth 4 gem power. A 1-star gem is only worth 1 gem power. So, do you want a 75% chance of getting a 1-star gem, or do you want a 100% chance of making a 2-star gem? Choice is yours. That's the way that I look at it. And yeah, I know it's only 2 Elder Rifts, but still, it adds up. So, I am totally against buying that legendary crest until you have maxed out and ranked out all of your 2-star gems. And then you can work on your 5-star gems. You see what I'm saying? So, now if you get lucky and you get a hot hand one night, you get a double drop and you get a whole bunch of, 5-star gems that are the same to where you can, rank them up to rank 4 or higher, then who am I to complain? But as far as it goes, you can really be effective uh, with rank 10 2-star gems. I've ran them all, and they work. They work in battlegrounds. You are a tough cookie. I'm only 2,500 or 2,179 res on this character, but I'm like 25 something on Oda, and I'm hard to kill. I'm squishy when it comes to getting hit by 12Ks, but I'm hard to kill when it comes to any other class. Anybody that's not 10K, 12K. So, and again, that comes in handy because if you pair yourself, being support, if you pair yourself alongside a whale, you have a long, you get those assists up. I look at assist kills as wins for me too. I was going to do something. And I gotta remember what I was gonna. Oh, I was gonna buy one of these. I think I need to buy 2 of these. Let me look real quick. I think it's 1, but let's not have to make 2 trips. 8, 9. I just need 1. All right, so I need just 1 of these. Click. I'll have a good start Monday with Oda because I have 4,700 plus. I still got to do tonight. I gotta gamble, or not gamble, but bet tonight on tonight's. All right, doing the same thing. We're just running a 10 crest. That's all. Add all the crusts that I have and on trade fair. See what happens. Fingers crossed. I have been getting lucky on Oda. over the last couple of weeks, so I may not pull a 5-star. I may not get lucky with the one chip that I have, but stranger things have happened, and sometimes it's, it's nice. If I get a 5-star out of one of the ones that I already have, that's going to be a huge upgrade. Like, I'll probably jump like 50 points minimally, no matter which one it is. So, fingers crossed. I'm trying to get to 3K. That's my next goal. Is because I have enough gem power to get high into the 3Ks residence. I just don't have the gems, and that's the problem. Is the gems. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, like, I've made. It's not for lack of better terms. Like, I made a couple mistakes, but they weren't major mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Like, they weren't anything that like broke the bank or broke my character or anything like that. And no, I didn't eat any 5 stars. I just didn't understand how the gem system worked. Damn it, I got a 1 star. Um, I didn't understand how the gem system worked really, and so fiddling around, testing out different gems and stuff like that, it led to me having to, consistently, you know, build gems. I was just not lucky with 5-star gems with this character. What I have, that's what's dropped for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have not been lucky on this character at all. And, sometimes you have good RNG and sometimes you have the worst RNG. I had the worst RNG with this character, but not for lack of saying that I didn't catch on to any, like 2 out of 5-star gems that were trash and, get enough gem power to rank up, 2-star gems for fuck's sakes. I had all 8 slots full of rank 2, rank 10 2-stars. And then I started changing over to the 5-star gems because I needed them. You can only be 2K res for so long, You only be 2400 res for so long before you got to change it up. All right. So once you get your residence and stuff like that figured out, figure out what path you're going to go on with your gems. It's just, just bat an eye from there. All right. That's awesome. Look at there. I just made another one. This one's sellable too. I have a bunch of them that I'm working on for different builds, and then I have some that are completed. That's why it takes me a second to scroll down. It's like I have too many charms, but I have charms for a reason. They're my builds. They're my squishy boots. Pull the ray out because the ways tend to sell. I nickel those. I can do 896. That's a good number. Get past the bots for shield charge. Alright. Well, that seems to wrap it all up, man. But let's talk about a couple of things. Like I said, I seem to be gabby today. I don't never been really angry at nice. I never really been angry at Blizzard for, any of the shit that they do. What happens in companies with CEOs, dude, ain't my business, and it happens in every company. Target and Walmart, I mean, come on, dude. Like, they've all had sexual harassment lawsuits on some level or another, whether it's been a ground level employee or whether it's been an executive. Every company has had an issue with that shit. I'm not gonna sit there and cancel freaking game company because I love, because of something that happened that didn't have anything to do with me or anybody that I know, or actually really anybody that was remotely in charge of anything. I shouldn't need a paint clasp. It's the point that I'm getting at. Did it happen? Yeah. Did the guy get punished? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Was everybody that was involved in the situation and the cover-ups and shit like that fired? Yeah. Did they fix the company? Yeah. Am I happy that they fixed the company? Yeah. I can All right then. So what's the problem? There isn't one. That's my point. There's not a problem. Now, I'm going to explain why there's not a problem. There's not a problem because I say there's not a problem. No, there's not a problem because I'm a forgiving person and I still have an echoing shade. I'm a forgiving person, and again, it wasn't the whole company. There's tens of thousands of people that work for Blizzard. I'm not gonna punish those developers. I'm gonna punish those people because one person had a bad idea and five other people got involved with it. You know what I'm saying? And they just so happened to be the guys that were running the company at the time. I'm not gonna punish the rest of the company for doing that. All right, like this stuff that you hear from other streamers, man, is just ridiculous shit. They're just slinging mud for hits. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I hope you guys have a good one. Love, peace, and chicken race. I am out this piece.